That was the one you got to give for school.
America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. This is what Harry Truman said. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, know someone who is serving or who has served in the military in some role. I am honored to be able to say that I personally know and raised 3 children who are serving in the Army. I would like to take a minute to tell you about the personal experiences that my family and I have experienced through the enlistment and the service that my 3 children have given to this country. It was one of anger, one of growth, commitment on all of our parts, not just theirs. But I couldn't be more proud of the once small children, then teenagers, now adults, for their decision. Corey was our first to enlist. Corey always said that he knew what he was going to do when he graduated high school. He was either going to go into law enforcement or join the Army. He doesn't like school, and he didn't want to study, so the Army it was. Corey decided on his job by taking a test like everyone does. Corey had 72 jobs to choose from in the Army. Corey went from the top of the list clear to the bottom and picked infantry. He was very, very excited about his decision. Basic training was one of growth, weight loss, and strengthening for Corey. Corey wrote a letter to us saying, "How's everything going? Are you getting all of your college work done?" When he should be worried about what he was doing. I know you're probably wondering what I'm doing up so late, and the answer is fire guard. The dumbest way to lose an hour of sleep. Anyways, I found out that our pass is coming up and gonna turn out to be retarded because cycles before us abused the pass. I have the clinch drill coming up next Friday. The clinch drill is when the drill sergeants hit them in the face repeatedly until they have the clinch. So he was excited about this, but I not so much. It was already terrible having him go to the military when I was used to him living at home. Our second one to join the military was our daughter, Crystal. Now, Crystal had gotten out of high school, and she had attended a semester at Garden City Community College as a cheerleader. But halfway through the year, she didn't know what she wanted to be when she grew up. So instead of accruing all of the debt and student loans, she decided, I'm going to join the military with my brother. Crystal only had 3 jobs to choose from after her completion. She chose to be in supply. She thought supply sounded pretty boring, but she knew she didn't want to work in the kitchen. So supply it was. Once she got into the basic boot camp, and they said, well, now, just so you know, when you're in charge of supplies, that means everything from a paperclip to a tank, and you're responsible for everything in between. That is your job to keep track. Her experience at basic was one of personal growth for her, learning to be away from home. For us, it was horrible. We were used to her still sleeping in the bed with us in the late nights. Her letter to us said, well, I made it and I have survived the first 2 days. She had a long ways to go. It started out rough though. My bag was lost and I got yelled at for that, even though it wasn't my fault. She said she held her composure and made it through it. She says, I sweat like none other. My hands have blisters all over them from doing push-ups on the rocks. She says, my arms are sore already. Enough of the bad stuff. She said, I already have good platoon and my drill sergeants are pretty cool, at least as cool as they can be. She learned what it meant to strive on while she was serving. She still serves. She is located at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, and she is getting ready to move to Fort Riley, so we're excited that she's going to be closer to home. My third kid that decided he would follow the other 2 is Michael. Michael had no direction for his life. He barely made it through school by the skin of his teeth. He really hated to study. So Michael decided, why not? I'm going to join the Army. When he got his list of jobs to choose from, he chose to be a combat engineer, which was perfect for him because he got to build stuff and blow it up. He got to learn to make his own bombs, blow them up, and make more. Now, Michael's journey through basic was one way different from the other two. Michael got recycled in the middle of his basic camp. Recycled means he didn't complete a task, he didn't pass it, so he had to wait and go with the next group. Michael's task that he didn't complete was down to 2 inches. He made a bomb, the fuse was supposed to be 7 inches, and he missed it by 2, his was 9. Now keep in mind, he couldn't use a tape measure. This had to be just by visualizing how long the fuse should have been. So for that, I think 2 inches wasn't too bad, but it could be detrimental in his job. So his letter starts off, I have finally started basic. I just rappelled from the 50-foot Eagle Tower. I've done the confidence course and the obstacle course, which was the hardest thing of all. I really miss you guys and can't wait for my next phone call. See, they didn't have their phones. They had to go back to what they learned as children. Pencil, paper, and snail mail. He had a struggle to begin with, and he also struggled with some depression at the end after he got recycled. He said one of the hardest things for him was to watch his original platoon graduate and run the lights instead of graduating with them. So it was very hard for him. As you can see, we have strong, courageous, and willing to serve kids. But they are so much more than soldiers to us. Maybe not to the government, maybe not to the Army, but to us, they are our kids and our heart. As an unknown author said, the American flag does not fly because the winds move past it. The American flag flies from the last breath of each military member who has died defending it. I am very proud to say that I am an American, and I will support my kids and the flag and what it stands for. I would like to say thank you to my 3 kids for having the courage and the willingness to put their country before themselves and serve.